So today I woke up a little bit late, when it comes to my life and the goals that I've set. It's important to hold yourself accountable to the goals that you have, but it's okay for every now and then, to sleep in, right? Because one of my goals is to wake up every single day at 3:40 a.m. And that is the best way for me to work on myself, to prepare myself, to not be late to anything. And um, I feel more at ease when I do that and when I'm holding myself accountable to that. But I did wake up late today. It was 6 o'clock. To me, that's late. Okay. um, but it's okay. It's okay. Every now and then, sleeping in is fine. It's not something that I do. Um, it's not like I say for 6 days out of the week I'm gonna wake up at 3:40, and one day out of the week I'm not gonna. No, I will still hold myself accountable to waking up at 3:40 every single day. But if I slept in because my body needed it, right? Then it could be that I'm sleeping in one out of 21 days, right? So I'm not planning to fail, but if it happens, then we work around it. It's fine. And even though sometimes in my life I have felt invincible, we're not invincible. We still do need to take care of ourselves and recover properly, especially with the amount of work that we do. When we're in the gym, we're very intense, and that requires us to also take care of ourselves and eat right and sleep enough, you know. And then also, what's been beneficial to me is massaging things out, heating up, the areas that are sore, and helping out with that process of recovery. So currently, I wanted to tell you guys what I'm doing for my eating windows. And this is not a diet, okay? I'm not being too restrictive. I'm just aware of what works for me, and I'm making the most out of that. So at the moment, I'm doing breakfast every single morning, in which I'll have a cabbage salad with any kind of protein. I don't really care if it's like sausage or Italian sausage or bacon. To me, that doesn't matter. Okay, just some kind of protein with my cabbage salad. And then I don't eat for the rest of the day up until 5 p.m. And then for dinner, I just have one meal. And I'm not being restrictive as to what it is. I'm letting myself enjoy life, to just have that freedom. And then the goal is to just stop there, okay? To not eat anything else later on at night or midnight snacks, none of that, no. And this is actually pretty easy to do because I've done intermittent fasting in different ways. And the one that I'm used to doing is a 24-hour fast, and that's tough to do. So to eat at, let's say, 7 in the morning and then not to eat again until 5 p.m. is not that hard. That window is like 12, maybe 14 hours, maybe it's 10 hours. It really isn't that long. So it's very doable for me. And what I'm doing is I'm finding what works for me, because it really doesn't matter what diet you decide to do. It matters what you can maintain, right? Because we don't want to do something for, let's say, 30 days, and then after we reach our goal to just stop doing that. That doesn't work, because when we do that, we will gain everything back. I'm sorry, but it's like the point of finding these diets that work for you is to stick to them, is to do what you can every single day, and you will get results from that, and then to maintain it. it has to do with our habits. And for me, being aware of how much work I do in a day, and how much I need to be focusing on my work day, especially right now, I've been increasing the amount of work that I've been doing, and I don't look at my phone as often. I work remotely, so like no one's gonna be checking in on me anyway, but still, I notice that when I have less work, I'm just like scrolling, just like pretty much everybody else, kind of just like killing time. But no, there's so much more that you could be doing if you're paying more attention, if you're reaching out, if you're following up on different things. And at the moment, that's what I'm doing. So it also doesn't give me that window, to cook something or, eat. And I'm completely fine with not eating up until after 5 p.m. Something that I've learned when it comes to my body and the results that I have is that I don't need that much food. My genetics, and right now I'm not on anything, okay? But my genetics keep me big. I'm good. I'm good as long as I do the work. What's more important to me and the exercise that I do is that the things that I do in the gym, the intensity that I put into it is plenty. Okay? If you give yourself a reason to build bigger muscle, then your body's gonna do it. It's gonna change and it's gonna maintain it. But you have to give yourself the reason, because if you don't, look, when I work on a regular basis, all I'm doing is sitting in a chair. Okay, if I'm not going out of my way to do something else, to challenge myself, to create struggle, if I'm not doing that, then my body is built to sit in a chair for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, who knows, just to get work done. And over the years, like, the body begins to change and it's not very functional. Okay, so the work that I'm doing in the gym is a big deal. And at the moment, what I am feeling is that I am recovering fast enough. I have no issues. If for any reason I feel like I'm not, then I would just increase the things that I'll be eating, or sleep a little more, stretch a little more. When it comes to my cardio, currently what I'm doing is 10 minutes of HIIT. And that's where I decide on, let's say, like 3 different exercises, and I just put them together, do one at a time. I try and push for about like 10. If I can't do 10, I'll do 8. If I can't do 8, I'll do 5. And it's just 10 minutes and just cycling through those 3 exercises. And then I'm doing 20 minutes of the Stairmaster. And the reason why I changed what I was doing was because I felt like I was burning myself out way too much when I'm doing like HIIT cardio, and I do like 30 minutes of it. I can feel it in my nerves. It is like very intense. My feet, my toes, the arches in my feet, all of those things have like feel like a pulling sensation or like a contraction. I know that I'm pushing myself way too much when my toes begin to contract, and also when I lay down and I'm gonna go to sleep and I just get these fucking cramps so bad. And those are obvious signs. Like, hey, maybe you don't need to run that much, okay? And I get it. Sometimes I'm in the zone and I just love just like pushing myself. I'm a masochist, so it's just the more I can handle, especially when I shouldn't be able to do my best. There are times when I just push myself. I just go to the gym anyway, and I don't feel like I'm at 100%, right? But to know that I could still do it, whatever I decide to know that I could still get through the exercise. Oh my gosh, that's what I live for. Okay, I love that feeling, but I know that I have to be smart about it too, and I think this is a healthy compromise, is to do just 10 minutes of HIIT cardio and then 20 minutes of the Stairmaster. And doing that steady cardio is different because I'm not doing anything intense while I'm doing the Stairmaster, right? But I'm just walking at a steady pace. And as I do it, what I notice is like my pores on my arms especially just fill up with water. I just get so sweaty from doing something very intensely and then doing something that's manageable. Because what's happening is like my heart rate is increasing a ton, and then it's just coming down just a bit, and we're keeping it at an elevated heart rate, but not as high as it was, right? And with that, I feel like I'm burning plenty. I'm burning enough for sure. Like I could walk off of my HIIT cardio and I'd still be burning, okay? Just because of how intense it is. But we don't need to be doing that intensely if it's not working, to our benefit, because you can you can't overtrain, and I've been a person, all my life that I think I've struggled to hit that wall of what overtraining is. But, as we age and as we just get smarter with what we're doing, more intelligent when it comes to how we set up our workout routine, then we're noticing, oh, okay, maybe I can do this in a smarter way rather than just pushing through it. Because, I'm built to push through. Okay, I'm built to push through. That's why I can get through so many things, even if it's not the best way of doing it. Doing the fitness culture programming, their training, I've done 2 so far with them, and what I've picked up from that is that they do about 3 muscle groups per day instead of the 2 or the 1. And the 3rd muscle group is actually something that it's not something we focus a lot on, but we just add it to the workout, maybe like 1 or 2 exercises in between there. Because doing 2 muscle groups in a day, or even 1 muscle group, and I did that for years, okay, is really a lot. Maybe if I was eating a ton, taking in a ton of protein, maybe if I was using, all different kinds of substances or supplements, then maybe I could do it. It would be beneficial. But you know what? We're not doing that. Okay. What we're doing is we're doing it at a manageable rate. Okay. And we're just maintaining what we have, and we're just improving slightly. Okay. If we're doing that, then we don't need to be doing so many exercises for, each muscle group, but just enough, doing it just right, pushing yourself just enough. And, from that, we get the results that we have. And things have been looking really good, really good. I've been doing calisthenics now for 20 minutes a day at least. I made it something important to me because when we think about the exercises that we choose to do and the ones that we put a lot of time into, when we have like a chest day, you always have bench in that chest day. When we're doing a back day, we may have deadlift or we may have bent over rows every single time. Okay? And the reason why is because it works. Is because we've put in the time, we've improved upon it, and we see the results that come from it. So of course we're going to do it. But I've taken calisthenics and I've added it to all the different workout routines that I have so that we can also add that in. And that has helped with my body control. So, doing lifting weights for so many years, you improve, and you improve in the sense that you are better at doing that lift. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have body control or even the form. There's a lot of people who don't even worry about their form, and the progress is just different. Okay, to be able to move, let's say, my hips, my lower back, my core in any way that I want to, it makes such a big difference, because it allows me to extend further. It allows me to contract more. And what's happening is my mind is traveling through my body, right? And I'm understanding, okay, I need to raise my hip and push it as far as I can possibly push it. And that's going to help me with my lifts. I can be using that when I do things like hanging leg raises, okay? Or levers. Levers are insane. Levers are like a hanging leg raise, but instead you keep your body straight. And as your legs come up, your body also will come up like this. And it's intense. It's so intense. But you can develop the control, that you can have of your core when you are pushing to do that. Calisthenics is just one of those ways that it just helps you with balance. It helps you with understanding your body. And it's also one of the things that I'm working on doing to help me with, being lean, because when you just lift weights, your body's built to lift weights. Okay. Not everybody who lifts weights gets the body that they want to get. Some people are just good at benching, squatting, and deadlifting. Okay, that's cool. That's what, whatever that your numbers are higher each time. But for me, there's so much more to it than just that. Like, let's work on anything that we have that is struggling. When we find out that we have body parts that are lacking, and also that they seem to have to work harder, those are things that we should also focus on. Those are things that we can work on and we can improve. And as we improve them, it improves everything else. I recently got these shoes, and they're called the Vivo barefoot shoes, and they're interesting. Okay. They do not have like these big padding things underneath them. It feels like your foot it almost feels like a sock, and your foot is taking all that pressure. Okay. And at first it was a little bit hard to get used to, but the reason why I wanted to use them was because I wanted to really work my legs and to really connect with the positioning of my feet during my workouts. I didn't want to have like this additional padding underneath my shoes that I don't even need, right? But so many shoes are like that. And sometimes when you're wearing different shoes, you're not flat, but it's almost like the shoe is having a hard time adjusting to whatever you're doing, especially when you're lifting weight. Like it's going to be hard for your shoes to help plant your feet, right? And these ones have like no padding, of course, so it's just like it feels like my feet are just grabbing the floor, no matter what I'm doing. And I have noticed like certain parts of my leg that like in the shin area, where your calves are, but like in the front side, I've noticed that they burn a little more. And I think what it is that the way that I've been standing, or the way that I've been running, or just, any kind of physical activity has been on my heels, has been on, different points of my foot, that then it affects your legs all the way up, you know? And so when you realize, like, oh, okay, maybe by the way that I'm positioning myself, by the way that I'm planting my feet, everything else can work better, more efficiently, then of course it's worth giving it a try, and it's worth making the effort to adjust. I like to adjust like little things like that. I like to tweak things because I want to see what works better. I also want to see what gives me more resistance, because that's what gives you results. Like, it's not about doing something that's easy, but it's about learning how the body moves, how it works, and then improving on that. Hey guys, I wanted to introduce you to a new product that I've been taking. It's called Level Up, and it is by Enhanced Performance Nutrition Supplements. I'll make sure to leave a link down below. It's great because it doesn't give you a crash. It's just enough energy. You can also use my code KVEGA10 for 10% off of your order. Go check them out. It'll definitely be worth your time. Something else that has brightened up my outlook lately has been that we're finishing up with the process of getting our home refinanced. And that is something that I'm just so grateful for. The investment that we made, back in 2017, is the best investment that I could have made. Like, you don't know until you get to the point where it pays out, and this is going to free up so much of my monthly income to then do other things with, I'm already looking at the coming year, and I would really like to go to some out-of-state raves. I want to make sure that I go to Red Rocks. I want to make sure that I go to Lost Lands. At least those two. I'm sure I could come up with other ones to put down. And I know that these shows probably just happened, right? But I want to plan for next year. I need a little bit of time, of course. But it just gives me the option, that I can do that if I want to do that. And it's not going to be a struggle. It's not going to be hard. I'm grateful that I got into the industry of mortgage when I did, because being at the University of Utah, I had a different perspective as to where I was going and what I can do with my time and with my talent. And going into the mortgage industry, I was able to see that, I'm sorry, but when you come out of the university, you don't always end up where you would like to be. Sometimes you have to go through these jobs that just are not great. They don't pay well. And it takes maybe years to get to the point where you're doing something that you actually want to do. And what I saw was, if I stay in mortgage, I can make good money in mortgage. Like, there's money there, okay? There's money to be made. There's so many people that could use this service, and they then make a big and a great investment of buying a home, right? And an investment that I made back in 2017, and then it now frees me up to do other things in my life, to travel and to just enjoy myself. Like, when you're paying companies, let's say credit card companies or loan companies, when you're paying them your money that you're receiving, you're not as excited, okay, every time that you get paid. I'm sorry, but you're pretty much just working and giving your money away to these strangers, complete strangers. I would rather give my money to people that I know, that I care about. I'd rather keep it within, the circle that I have. As I grow, they grow. That's what makes the most sense to me. And, because we're doing this refinance, it's also going to help us to do that, and to be helping pretty much all the people who are also hustling, because we all want to get somewhere in our life, and we look at certain things as important to us. We may not care about everything that everyone else is doing, but they care about it. Okay. And we have to just appreciate the effort that they're putting out there. Because they have interest in that, then we get to see like the outcome of the work and the effort. And every single person is talented. They could come up with their own version of that. We can all be creatives. It's just we have to want it. It has to be something that we are willing to put our time into. And another thing that this does for me is I've wanted to do this for quite some time. This is for me. This is for me, okay? When it comes to me doing my hair, that's also for me. But this is another step here in my life. And I'm going to get my first tattoo appointment scheduled. And and I'll make time to do that. And it's just it's something that I've thought about for a long time, but I just didn't know exactly where to start, who to talk to, what it was going to be, any of that. Also, like the time frame of it. What was nice is because I spoke to this guy who it took me some time to find, but because I spoke to this guy, he let me know, okay, this is the process. This is what you're getting yourself into if you want to proceed, if you want to go forward. And this is the price difference, and scheduling ahead of time, all those things. And so it is something that I've thought more about. But I would like to get it done, and I'd like to I think it's also going to be something that I want to show, so I want to cover an arm, shoulder, and chest. And I know it's kind of a big piece, especially for your first tattoo, but I don't like doing little things. I don't like small things. Okay. I'm an intense person. I just go all the way, all the time. So of course I want it to be like, I want it to stand out, and I do want to have some nice colors, I want like pink and blue, like turquoise, maybe purple, maybe yellow. We'll see. We'll have to see what he suggests, because I also want the artist rendition. I do appreciate, people who put in a lot of time and effort into their work, and I'd like to see that as well. I've been listening to a lot of 7 Lines lately, and I could just put that on and just lay there and just listen to it all day long. I could be driving, I could be at the gym, I could just be here at home. It's all good. I definitely need to catch a 7 Line show. I know that there was one recently and I missed it, but look, we're in a better position in our life, and we're now going to be able to go and enjoy those shows. Why not? I'm not married. I don't have kids. My options, the opportunities are there. It matters if we take them, if we make these things important to us, because all these little things that I've talked about, the things that are going on in my life right now, they only matter because I am putting importance on them. It's interesting when we look at ourselves, because we don't see it as such a big deal. When we see it on other people, we tend to notice more on them. But when we're going through these things ourselves, we can also make these things meaningful things that we care about, that we we express that we care about them. And the results that we get from them, people will notice that we care. Because when you don't care, then people also notice that. They notice that you're just not, it's not your day. You're not putting in the time. Look, I put in the time for my life. And that's why I get to do what I get to do. That's why I enjoy it. That's why I get to have fun weekends. And honestly, that's why I'm positive. That's the only reason why I'm positive. If I didn't put in the time in the work, if I didn't wake up at 3:40 in the morning, if I didn't do that, then I'm sorry, but none of this could happen. None of it. If I'm behind and late when it comes to my life, then we could never get to where we are today. It's all about the effort. Absolutely. Okay, I think I'm going to listen to some more Seven Lions and just have an enjoyable kickback Saturday. So thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to listen. Until next time,